Oh, are we good to go?
Okay. So, what we had gotten started talking about was getting permission for everything to be okay. Because the way that we were raised is kind of that things are dangerous. And even the guys, the daddies that told us that everything was okay, they were running around being tough and dealing, but not very well with a really dangerous situation in their mind.
Yeah.
And so that was life. That we came out of that kind of history. Way back when we actually did live in a jungle. Jungle life is dangerous. Things get eaten daily. As long as there's let us say, predators, including humans, out there eating, things get eaten. Sometimes it's humans that get eaten. So things are just downright dangerous in the jungle. However, we have built cities. But then we understand in a way that in fact, they call it a concrete jungle.
Law of the jungle. Yeah.
Right, the law of the jungle, and the law of the jungle applies in the city also. When you would think that humans, if they want to come out of the jungle, they should be able to come out of not just the physical jungle, out of the jungle, out of their mind also. Because our daddies, I think you and I daddies were very much alike.
Yeah.
They were tough dudes, but they struggled.
They, yeah, yeah. There were cracks. You could see the cracks in the facade, in the armor, and you
Hmm.
could feel it. You could feel it. You could feel the panic, and how probably maybe they were ashamed of that, or because it wasn't very manly to to be like that. And I can see that in my granddad, my dad's dad, and who came from like a family of, I think, 7 other brothers, and he was the youngest, and you know,
It
there's,
goes right back.
yeah,
It goes all the way back past the time of the Buddha, right back into ancient history. That
probably
in fact,
that right back there, I expected it when the brainstem.
exactly so. Exactly. That's where that stuff comes from, those sense of fears and insecurities that we try to fight away by being tough.
Yeah,
And to recognize, wait a minute, we don't need that war. And that war is actually, let us say, glorified in religion as the war of Armageddon, the war of good against evil, the war against me and against the world, or whatever it is. And that war can also be thought of as merely just critical thinking. This is good and this is bad. And so we become critical, and that's how we built our society. We built this jungle that we call home, but we left the jungle in it because of that quality of judgment, which is then we can think of when we're in our own mind, sitting in meditation and figuring things out. We can see that that's actually just critical thinking, to where what we really need is nurturing thoughts, nurturing thinking, and in the regard of what you're talking about, and the permission to allow yourself to think that way, to think that everything is going to be all right.
it feels
You want some evidence.
well, and ironically, you 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 feel stronger in yourself anyway. Daddy's trying to be all strong and tough, but it's brittle. Whereas if you
Hmm.
kind of yield and you because you're not fighting against yourself, I guess. I mean, I don't know if you noticed on the last spoke last time, you were talking me through this meditation on the inhale everything, on the outhale
Uh
everything.
huh.
Right.
I
I don't know.
remember that. That was good.
I had tears streaming down my eyes. I had tears streaming down my eyes, and throughout this whole week, that I've been welling up quite a lot. I feel like whether it's the right correct term, but some kind of healing effect. That's how it feels. Just some kind of purification process. Just something. It feels nurturing. It feels healthy.
I know.
It feels a release and a relief. It's
I'm really glad that you're reporting back that you got such good value out of that session. But what I wanted with us to do with that is, instead of making that as an event of profound importance, let us do it this way. That, you're just doing it, you're just like in pool, they call beginner's luck.
yeah, beginner's
Okay.
mind. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And in another way of looking at it, look how easy it actually is to do. Because you can guide yourself into that state just like I did in 5 minutes.
Yeah. I've been, I have been. It's those tears are still, tears are still been coming. I'm learning about the right attitude, the right everything you talk about, all the parts of the Eightfold Path. It's about what I'm bringing to it. So when I'm paying attention to the breath, how am I paying attention to that breath? The breath's the breath, but I can tune my mind into seeing it joyfully or nurturingly, or that's I forget quite often, but at the start of the week, I would say it was kind of like beginner's pool luck. Oh, this is tough. I got this. This is great, And then life threw a curveball towards the end of the week, and I was up at 3 a.m. in the morning, and I didn't have the presence of mind at that time to get back in front of it. I just felt like I was going to get sort of a rather intimidating email from an insurance scam type email thing that gets my self-righteousness up quite a bit, because I feel like it's David against Goliath kind of thing, but it'll be okay. What I did is I made the appropriate phone calls, took the practical steps to talk to some people in the know, and that helped put my mind at ease. Yeah, I mean, that was a challenge at 3 o'clock in the morning to remember these instructions. But start again. So when I woke up in the morning, sit back on the cushion, and yeah, it was harder to tune into that quality, but it is still possible.
Mm-hmm.
It is still possible. That's the right effort, I'm assuming.
Oh, that's really good. I, let us focus on that which you just said, in the sense that you begin now, both in the time that we had before, 3 years ago or so, and to now already reestablish that you can do this.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, it's there.
That's an important step.
So much of what you taught me those 3 or so years ago, it's still there. Still there.
Great. So let's reestablish and complete building those skills. That's exactly what it is. So it's like riding a bicycle. It really is. You can probably get on a bike and within 10 minutes or less get back up to the best you ever were with a bicycle.
Yeah. Despite what the stories tell you, despite I guess there's some parts of my mind that don't want me to develop these skills. It's I guess there's do you understand what I'm saying? There's I'm challenging a lot of beliefs. Oh, you can't do this, Steve. Your head is fucked. Do you know
Actually,
what I mean?
that's right. This is back to that point that we were making before about having permission to do this. That you really do not only need for me to give you permission as a spark, but then you take that spark and give yourself permission as fuel to the fire.
Man, I'll tell you now, within a couple of days of talking to you, I'm back talking about the Dhamma again when I'm in the workplace, And I'm telling someone like, yeah, all you need to do is just come back to your breath and start again, and the girl that I'm talking to was like, yeah, I see what you mean. so it's it's all there, but it's let's get those skills developed. So it's gonna be
right. And so it's all about the memory. Which is actually sati, to remember to wake up, to remember to do this. That's the major skill to be remembered, because we forget it when we need it most. When things get tough, when things get tight, when you're expecting that email from that scam artist or whoever it is, and you think about that email, that's when we feel really tense and uptight, and that's when we need to take a deep breath and tell ourselves everything is all right.
Yeah, that's when it feels really real. That's how I like something about paranoia that feels real. It convincing, It's a tricky. It seems to be a tricky mind state to deal with. For say myself, I don't know about anyone else, but throughout my life, I remember being quite paranoid and stuff. It's a place. I've been in a lot, so it's a question.
It's a very human trait. I would say, in fact, that I don't know anyone who is absolutely free of paranoia. Every one of us thinks that the world out there is a dangerous place.
Yeah.
Dangerous. Got to watch my stuff and to watch what I say. And we actually learned that as kids. Here's a really, really interesting and clear example. I think her name was Madeleine Albright, but I'm not sure that it was. But I'll tell you who the position was. She was Attorney General for the United States during one of the Democratic administrations, probably Obama's administration, when a big scandal broke about the city that she used to live in, where she was the district attorney, the head attorney. So she got a promotion into being the biggest lawyer in town from another place. And the scandal that